Okay, let's get into audience questions for the week. The first one, this is actually a really interesting question. If getting out the vote is a valid strategy for winning elections, why isn't suppressing the vote a valid strategy? We are talking about two different things here. Saying to people, you know what? None of these candidates really have your interests in mind. If you vote for anyone, you're reinforcing some status quo or you're enabling the two-party system or whatever. Even lying to people about the positions of the candidates in order to get them to dislike all of them and stay home. That's electioneering. I prefer people tell the truth, but the point is that is a strategy to say let's run a no vote campaign or a blank vote campaign or whatever the case may be. That's the opposite of get out the vote. Trying to suppress turnout by lying about polling places, lying about voter ID rules, pushing voter purges, looking to limit early voting hours or mail-in voting. That is a completely different strategy. One is a strategy of disenfranchising someone from voting, which is a right. The other is just making the case that it's not in your interests to vote. And if people don't understand the difference between these two things, we're in real trouble. Now, I would disagree with the strategy of, I mean, listen, we saw this. There were lots of people saying, I don't like any. There were Bernie supporters who, when Hillary won or when Biden won, said, I don't like Trump, but I don't like Biden. I don't like Trump, but I don't like Hillary. I'm opting out. I don't want to participate. I don't want to support any of these candidates. I disagreed with them, but that's not voter suppression. That's saying I am making the decision to wield my right to vote by not voting or voting third party or whatever the case may be. Those are people with whom we would just talk and figure out, is that a good strategy? What is the goal? What are you trying to attain by doing that? Will it actually work to attain that? There is nothing similar when you then look at what the Republican Party has done to try to suppress the vote, trying to have absentee ballots thrown out, limiting who can get absentee ballots, cutting Sunday voting hours, purging people because they haven't voted in a few elections by saying these are no longer really active voters in the sense that you should be registered. Voter polling intimidation. That is disenfranchisement. Convincing people you are making the country better by not voting, by choosing not to vote. I would disagree with the strategy. I think it's always better to vote. In every situation I've seen, but it is a completely different thing. And part of the problem is that when people don't get it, they might be tricked by that question. They might hear, hey, you know what? It's true. If getting out the vote is a strategy, why isn't suppressing the vote a strategy? Well, suppressing by just saying, choose not to vote, protest with us, protest by not voting. That's totally legitimate. Suppressing in the way that Republicans have been trying to do. We now have over 250 voter suppression bills across more than 40 states. Why? Because they didn't suppress enough of the vote to win in 2020. It's quite that simple. A very different thing. I'm glad to answer the question. There is very little comparison between the two. If you ever feel like you just don't have enough time to read all the books you want to read, you have to check out one of my favorite apps called Blinkist. Blinkist takes thousands of popular nonfiction books and distills each one down into an ebook or audiobook that you can get through in just 15 minutes, where you're getting all the key takeaways from the book. Just imagine how you'll be able to expand your horizons and knowledge by being able to soak up all of the important insights from 10 different books in an afternoon. Obviously, it's perfect for exposing yourself to a new book you otherwise wouldn't have time for, or you can use it to revisit a book you've already read, or use it to preview a book before you buy the full version and read it. I recently read A Brief History of Time, of course, by the great Stephen Hawking. This is a book that I have been aware of for so long, and other things got in the way. And it was fantastic to check it out on Blinkist. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video.